over the Spartans. They went 9-21 a year ago, but they think they can be improved. Clemson, the opening tip, one of the newcomers, and a former Upstate Spartan, Rachel Rose, with the ball. And an addition to the roster as well, Demira Hines giving it back to Rose. That's what she does. The senior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. She can score and is a scrappy player.
You know, Rachel's on the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year watch list for Clemson.
Credit to her ability. Hines knocking it away. Here comes Moore. Couldn't get the reverse. Hines the rebound. Tigers will reset, and then the ball thrown to the opposite number. Lexi Castader coming away with it. A Valparaiso transfer for this Upstate team. Out on the wing, that's Gallagher. Spartans will reset. They're trying to get better offensively. Way down there in the nation a year ago, about 53 points a game. Shot clock's at 10. Crossing over, Jenkins. And Moore comes away with it. Jim told you, nearly 6 rebounds a game a year ago for the 5'6" Mia Moore. Raven Thompson, one of the returnees. Another newcomer, the DePaul transfer. Taylor Johnson Matthews can't get it to go. Thompson on the offensive glass. And return.
Raven's undersized, but she'll get her share of rebounds in there, and she finished on that one for sure.
Thompson 6 a game a year ago. Spartans want to play with a better pace. Jenkins, a sophomore from Columbus, Ohio. Out front it goes. Zora Frey-Chin can't get it to fall. And off the floor, Moore and the Tigers get it back.
That's a good block out by Raven Thompson to give Mia Moore the opportunity to get that rebound.
Hines came from Wake Forest, one of 2 transfers that came from ACC schools to Sean Poppy's team this year. Shot clock under 10 across the lane. Thompson, she'll get the roll. Vera Soderblom hit the deck for USC Upstate. Tigers race out to a 6-0 advantage.
A little bit of a no call there. It's put us in favor.
They told the many students on hand on this education day to make some noise, thus the very constant high pitch that you hear. Castador. Now on the wing, Jenkins. They move it fast. Gallagher tried to get it inside with the shot clock winding down. Hines comes away with it.
I like the pressure Clemson's putting on at the point of the basketball there. It's causing some really bad passes that Clemson's been able to step in front of and intercept.
Johnson Matthews out high, away from the ball. They'll get Hines on the illegal screen. First foul of the game. Rachel Rose expected to make an impact this year. She does so in the first few seconds as a Tiger.
That's a long closeout right there. It's very difficult to do, and Rachel went by her with a good shot fake.
You noted she's on the Lieberman watch list. Played the past 3 seasons at Wofford. She was a SoCon Player of the Year, but the 24-25 campaign, a lost year for her. She played in just 6 games due to injury. Gallagher out high, who, like Rose, has a Big South Freshman of the Year to her credit. Jenkins, Tigers trying to extend the defense. Jenkins crossing over on Moore and throwing it away. That's another area that Upstate wants to improve. Last season, they were last in the nation in turnover margin. They gave it up nearly 23 times a game. Tigers happy with what they've seen so far, looking to build in this early 6-0 advantage.
The pressure was building there with the shot clock running down, and she made a bad decision there in the spur of the moment.
Moore led the Tigers from afar last year at 42%. Johnson Matthews can't get it to go. She was a 36% shooter for DePaul last season.
Yeah, averaging 14.5 points a game at DePaul too, Pete. That's a good pickup in the portal.
Jenkins and Upstate looking for their first points. Just on the floor for them, Aubrey Kirst, one of their returnees. Gallagher on the wing with 5 on the shot clock. Jenkins. Back to Gallagher, defended by Moore. And it'll be a shot clock violation. So another turnover for USC Upstate. Tigers defended well a year ago for Sean Poppy, trying to continue that this year.
Yep, good job flooding the post down low there by Hattie Pierman.
held opponents to 66 points or 64 points a game last year. And they want to improve in that regard, but they were a scrappy defensive bunch. One of the reasons why they got wins over a couple of ranked opponents last season.
No doubt about it.
Rusne Augustinaite, Georgia Tech transfer. That's her with the ball. Out high Moore, quick ball movement. Hannah Cohn, one of the top three-point shooters for the Tigers when she arrived from Chattanooga with Poppy last year. And Clemson will give it away. So Clemson, a 6-0 advantage, but Tigers 0 for 2 from long range here in the early going. Upstate 4.5 minutes in, trying to get their first points. Jenkins defended by Moore. Getting it to another newcomer, Asia Palmore. Drives in the lane and finishing at the bucket. Asia Palmore looking to make an impact out of Greensboro, North Carolina, grad transfer.
Coach Poppy wants to play at a very fast pace.
Says his team played at a tempo last year that, well, was well below what he's trying to get to, Jim, as you know, in transition only about 12% of the time last year. They want to get that closer to where the elite teams are at around 20%. Moore calling for a screen and driving. Mia Moore finishing at the basket, does that so well. She's got her first points of the game.
She got the screen, but then she refused the screen and went away from it and blew by the defender.
Palmore out high. Now Kirst. Tigers trying to go 2-0 all time in their series with Upstate. Spin move. One of the bigs for Upstate, Emma Blair. And the lid remains on. Tigers trying to add to this early 6-point advantage. Hadley Perriman, a Tulsa transfer, swings it. Augustinaite. Not going to go down. Augustinaite a year ago was a 30% shooter for Georgia Tech.
Coach Poppy wants to take a high percentage of three-point shots, but he don't want them to fall in love with a three-pointer.
From the wing, it'll go for Gwen Jenkins, 34% last season. Looking to expand her role, just like that. Spartans get a little bit closer, back within 3. Actually, they'll say it was a long 2. Perriman can work the wing, but also known for her rebounding and shot blocking. 5 on the shot clock. Perriman, her first attempt as a Tiger will come off, and the rebound comes down to Palmore. Leaving her feet was Kirst, and a turnover, the travel on Palmore. Tigers have the early 4-point advantage on USC Upstate. Mia Moore looking to up. And a couple of years ago, got his Upstate team to the women's NIT. First time for that program. Tigers out of the timeout, 4-point lead. Hines, the Wake Forest transfer, goes right under the defender. Emma Blair had no answer for Demira Hines, her first bucket as a Tiger. Back out to a 6-point advantage. And the pass intended for Gallagher. Good defense by Augustinaite. And another turnover for the Spartans. Sean Poppy likes that. His team has forced roughly half a dozen in the early going. Year number 2. It is a little bit chilly in the building. Looks like he's kind of got the warmer pullover on today. What a job he did a season ago, bring energy back in this program. Evidenced by the fact that attendance for Clemson women's games was up in the 90 percentile. And the Tigers competitive throughout, looking to build on that. And having an inside game with newcomers like Hines will be a big part of the story.
Yeah, you're going to be able to see the bigs be able to post up and score inside much better than they had last year. And it's an improvement in that area for certain.
Kinley Patterson, one of the freshmen, feeding Blair. Blair a year ago, about 3.5 points a game. She was a big scorer in high school up in Pennsylvania, and I think she can up things in her sophomore year. Rose out high for Clemson. Augustinaite was a good scorer and faced the Tigers for Georgia Tech. Gave it away. Now Cone behind a screen from Hines. Hannah Cone looking to pick up where she left off a year ago. Led the team at 35% from distance.
I guarantee you, at the last time out, Coach Poppy said we need to get some post touches to open up our outside shooting, and he did. Went to Hines, and then there's the kick out to Hannah Cone.
On the wing, the crossover by Patterson. Again, a deep shot clock for the Spartans. Patterson off the back iron, and a rebound by Hines.
That's a big-time rebound in traffic right there, Pete.
Hines led the Wake Forest team with nearly 6 boards a game last season. Rose, now Cone. Back out high, Rose. Hines battles for the rebound and gets it, but then she shows it to the opposing coach. Hannah Cone, she can work behind screens as she did here.
Yep, great job right there. There's the flare screen behind. Girl went behind the screen, and then Hannah Cone popped out on the top and was wide open for the three. Good job reading the screen. Screening and reading screens, very important.
Junior out of Oviedo, Florida, was an impact player in her first and only season at Chattanooga for Sean Poppy. One of the other newcomers, Morgan Lee, adding size, 6'3", on her third college stop. Actually 6'5".
Yeah, 6'5".
She's out of Connecticut originally. She's played at Georgetown the past few seasons. At Marist from way downtown, Cassie Gallagher. She is the go-to scorer for this Upstate team. And she has her first bucket of the afternoon, or I should say late morning.
Yeah, sweet stroke right there. Nice.
And we're getting a foul away from the ball, the Tigers. Morgan Lee, the aforementioned 6'5" grad transfer, who was a second team All Metro Atlantic Conference performer. You can see the illegal screen there. So down by 6. Spartans, they pulled within 4 moments ago, and our final seconds of the opening quarter wind down with the Tigers in front, 15-9. Opening game of the alma mater, Limestone. Corey Fox on the women's side, and now back with another Limestoner, Sean Poppy.
And Corey Fox at Limestone was also assistant men's coach, and he recruited Sean Poppy out of Illinois to come to Limestone.
They go back a long way. A lot of energy for this Clemson women's program in year number 2 under Sean Poppy. Tigers begin the second quarter with a 6-point advantage. Cone and Moore out high, looking to lead the way scoring. Off the screen from Lee. Shot clock under 10. Moore, and a foul is called. Corey Fox took a Limestone program that hadn't really done much on the women's side and turned them into a team that was regularly going deep in the D2 tournament. Got them all the way to the Elite 8, if you will, the championship version of Division II. And when I saw that he had joined the staff, I thought, what a great addition. Of course, as you know, Limestone University recently closed its doors, so many coaches had to find other opportunities. And it's like he has found a good one here, and likewise for Sean Poppy to have that kind of experience to his staff.
That was a nice touch on the part of Coach Poppy, I thought. But as one of his mentors that had fallen to some bad luck there.
Perriman and the Tigers get the turnover. Cone. Perriman feeding Lee. On the wing, Cone. Good ball movement. Back in the corner, Moore. She'll fire. Leaving it short, but there's Perriman flying in for the rebound. She grabbed nearly 9 a season ago for Tulsa. And Cone taking advantage of the recycled opportunity.
That's a great job of ball movement, people movement. That was good offense right there. It led to the offensive rebound and the kick out.
Well, the Spartans down by 6 to start the quarter, and able to get the bucket out of Patterson to end that Tigers run, which had seen them grow a double-figure lead. Perriman going to be one of those Swiss Army knife players, I believe, for Poppy's team, but one of those sizable additions. Here is a pull-up, not going to go down for Johnson Matthews, but there's Perriman.
She just picked up her second offensive rebound in 2 possessions.
Lee at 6'5", backing in on Soderblom. Now from the outside, Perriman, no. And the Spartans will come away with it. Trying to reverse. Not going to happen for Patterson. They keep it alive. Zoe Richardson, Siena transfer, working down low. And Vera Soderblom, one of the returnees, her first bucket of the game. And the Spartans back within 7.
Perriman led the ACC at Tulsa in blocks last year, and she's got one already in this game.
In the American Athletic Conference, very solid performers. Skip pass, Moore. Now back to Perriman. She'll try again. Second one goes in her early Clemson career for the senior out of Tuttle, Oklahoma. Soderblom working on Lee. Got a hand on her. She was one of the top shot blockers in the nation a year ago, but she picks up a second personal foul. Tigers using defense to generate some offense moments ago.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Clemson's pressure defense, and they love to trap now out of their man-to-man after a made basket here, just to speed up the tempo of the game.
Sean told us before the game he had intended to throw some full court pressure. Even though his teams have been very good defensively, they don't force a lot of turnovers. They're more of a half court, but they will throw some of that out for the slower pace teams to try to force the issue. Vera Soderblom knocks down her first free throw attempt from Sweden. And a fourth-year junior at 6'3". And 1 out of 2 on that trip. And Thompson, the rebound for Clemson. Rachel Rose against one of her former teams. Her freshman season at Upstate, and the past 3 at Wofford. So she moves from the 585 corridor and comes down I-85 here to Clemson. Pull up. Taylor Johnson-Matthews. Nice finish on the baseline. Her first bucket as a Tiger. And the lead grows back out to double figures at 11. Frey Chin, senior out of Orlando. Now Jenkins with Rose defending. Working on the wing, ball knocked out of bounds by Johnson-Matthews, who showed some nice game with that pull-up moments ago.
Once again, refused the screen there. Taylor Johnson refused the screen, goes baseline, and pulls up for that nice, soft baseline jumper, which is not an easy shot.
It's a quick decision when someone comes out to set a screen for you. And eventually you kind of get a flow going. That's why when you have so many new players playing together for the first time in a game situation, a game that counts, if you will, as the jumper won't go down for Gallagher. It takes about 10, 15 games for players to kind of have that second instinct about their teammates.
True.
Thompson and Hines up top. Johnson-Matthews nearly 15 a game for DePaul. She was their second leading scorer. A little turnaround from right of the lane. Wow.
Degree of
off the dribble.
Yeah, degree of difficulty on that shot was very high.
Good infusion of scoring for the Cleveland native. And the lead grows to 13. Coming up on 5 to play before the break. From out front, long one on the way. Madison Miller can't get it to go.
Good blockouts all the way around by the white team.
Rose and Hines up top. Backdoor underneath, and the foul is called. Johnson-Matthews taking the feed. High screen working for the Tigers. But the fadeaway, pretty to watch.
No doubt about it. They switched, and she shot that ball over the big post player there, too. So, once again, that was a very, very good shot. She played for 2 really good coaches. Friends of mine, Doug Bruno, now retired, was the head coach at DePaul for, a long, long, long time, 30-plus years. And then his assistant was an associate head coach. Jill Pizzotti coached Taylor Johnson-Matthews there at DePaul.
78% free throw shooter a year ago, makes them both 15-point advantage. And she's adding to her scoring here in the second quarter.
I'm impressed with Clemson's man-to-man defense. Doing a good job with their post defense. Very physical in there.
Kirst sees the double team come. Frey Chin. Shot clock under 10. Jenkins on the wing. Off the hesitation. Kirst from way outside. Missing badly. Spartans a year ago just 30% as a team on three-pointers. They are in a rut here in quarter number 2. Rose and the Tigers trying to build on the big lead. And an offensive foul will be called. They get Rose on the charge. Opening game for this 25-26 campaign. Clemson up big. Presence this year. It's going to change things all around his offense. And that's been a big talking point of his and a big expectation coming into this campaign. Rose defending Jenkins out high. Soderblom looking to give it away. And off the hand of Jenkins. Pass was too strong.
Once again, good defense there on the part of Rachel Rose. Had the hands up there in the passing lane, created that turnover.
Trying to clean that up is Upstate this season. They've given it away 8 times so far. Rose has a quick first step off the dribble. And it goes down. Rusne Augustinaite.
That's Rusne's game right there. I think she's got a great mid-range jump shot. Great mid-range game.
She combined for 11 points against Clemson in the games against Georgia Tech last year. And able to knock down that bucket. And again, Clemson taking it away. 17-point advantage. Hines. Soderblom defends. Quick spin move.
I like it. Power move all the way. Good drop step. Then head fake back the other way. Made the good front pivot and go straight up in the air. I like it.
Half a dozen for Tamira Hines. Her transfer from Wake Forest gets her closer to her Atlanta area hometown at Douglasville, Georgia. Jenkins. And it goes out of bounds. So back over to the Tigers. Augustinaite, known for her shooting ability, even though she was 30% last year at Georgia Tech.
Yep, great job right there. I mean, that was a perfect jump shot. Straight up, straight down, eyes on the target. Elbow under the basketball. That's picture perfect.
35% from the field overall, but 30 from long range. But her head coach has liked what he's seen out of her during the preseason work.
A little 1-2-2 full court press here by Upstate. Trying to take some time off the clock.
Jason Williams trying to change things up. Augustinaite on the wing, off the skip pass from Cone. Cone, a big smile on her face, give her the assist, and Augustinaite, her first 3 as a Tiger. Lead now 36-14. Tigers led 15-9 coming into this quarter.
Clemson does such a good job on offense, spreading the defense out.
For a Frey Chin. Out high it goes. Quick move. Lexi Castater. And a shot clock violation. That's the second of this quarter for the Spartans. How about Hannah Cone on the nice pass, getting it out to Augustinaite?
Yeah, with the left hand even. For the right-hander, that's a perfect pass. Great job on the catch and finish.
Augustinaite once had a 30-point game against Florida, so she can be a good weapon off the bench scoring-wise. Moore. Perriman now out on the wing it goes. And Augustinaite at 6 feet, also a big guard. Another 3 try. Boy, she's feeling it.
She is feeling it. She won't pass many up today, I can tell you that right now.
The lead grows to 25 points. Tigers on a 24-5 run during the second quarter. Jenkins. Soderblom. Now Gallagher. Best offensive weapon for Williams and the Spartans. That comes off. Augustinaite able to scrap for it. 1.5 to play before the break. Crossover Moore using the speed. And one. Mia Moore so fast on the drive.
She is. Look at the move here. There's the crossover dribble.
The preseason went on. She got used to her new teammates and used to more of a primary scorer role.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Pete. We were talking about Mia Moore and what a good rebounder she was in the Open, and she's actually leading the team in rebounding right now.
And Raven Thompson, the offensive rebound. Jones hit a 3 in this game. Tigers more weapons from beyond the arc. Shot clock under 10. Perriman. Moore, quick move, blows right by Frey Chin. 8 points so far for Mia Moore, and a foul is called. Well, Jim, about a week ago, word was made public. A wonderful honor for such a wonderful woman and one of the greatest basketball players, male or female, in ACC history. Barbara Kennedy Dixon has been elected to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in Knoxville. She'll be enshrined posthumously in June, and a big feature coming up at halftime. You sat down with Don Munson and talked about the greatness of Barbara Kennedy Dixon.
Yeah, greatness.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, greatness is the perfect word too, because she was she's exceptional in every way, and I had the honor to be able to call her husband Marvin and tell him of the good news, and it was an emotional time for both of us.
So happy to see that news. Such a great woman. Frey Chin, quick turnaround jumper. First bucket in a while for the Spartans. Coming up on 30 to play here in the opening half. Barbara Kennedy Dixon gave such a valiant battle against cancer for many years, but always smiling, and such a great role model for all the women's basketball players she came in touch with as a coach and as an administrator here at Clemson. Shot clock under 10. Moore. Raven Thompson, little hesitation. Back out high. Perriman won't get it to go. And Upstate will get it back with 6.3 remaining here in the opening half of play. So a Spartans team that struggled to score a season ago, kind of continuing that, but Tigers have had a lot to do with that. And I would think Sean Poppy would give this opening half a very high grade for his Clemson team to start things out. And Jenkins has it knocked away by Moore with 1 second remaining.
Mia Moore's been a factor on the defensive end too. She has really been pressuring the basketball and getting some deflections, creating a lot of those bad passes because of her pressure on the ball.
Nearly 11 points a year ago for Moore, leading returning scorer. Frey Chin lobbing down low, but it's knocked away, and that's how we arrive at halftime in the season opener for Mia Moore and the Clemson Tigers. An impressive body of work here, and get that up around +5 or 6 a game if they can. He would certainly take that. It'll mean so much more on both ends of the court. Moore on the Tigers, and an early foul will be called.
Yeah, and he emphasizes the boxing out and the fundamentals of rebounding and all that kind of stuff. And it was evident in the first half. There was a conscious effort to put a body on that offensive player.
Lexi Castedor with her first personal foul. Out on the wing, Moore. And battling for the rebound and taking it down, Soderblom. So Jason Williams probably also telling his team they've got to do better than -10 on the glass in the second half. Castedor, the transfer from Valparaiso. Frey Chin. Now Gallagher, player they're trying to get the ball to. Went up with it, had it knocked away, and a great job defensively by Johnson Matthews.
Good hands.
Hines, Taylor Johnson Matthews, got to respect her from beyond the arc and in the lane as well. She was a 36% three-point shooter, but bulk of her scoring of nearly 15 a game for DePaul last year came close to the basket.
That was a very nice floater right there. Good balance on the shot. I'm impressed with the way Clemson is screening. They have got a lot of motion, a lot of screening action.
Gallagher too strong off the glass. Another one and done for USC Upstate. Rose off a screen from Hines, gives it back to her. Now Moore from the corner. And the backside rebound, Castedor. Upstate Spartans trying to get back to what they were a couple of years ago. A 16-win season, trip to the women's NIT. Rough year last year. They're picked 6th in the Big South, and a nice piece of work inside off the glass by Zora Frey-Chin. The 5th-year senior out of Orlando came to them from Wright State a few seasons ago.
Yeah, they isolated Chin that time on the smaller Raven Thompson.
In the lane, Hines working through defenders. Can't get it to go. Well, that was a nice move to her right, then her left by Demira Hines.
Good on-ball defense by Rachel Rose there.
Soderblom looked like she wanted to hand it off to Gallagher instead to Jenkins. Plenty of time in the shot clock. Gallagher loads up. And the lid remains on for USC Upstate. Just 1 of 7 on 3-point attempts.
Clemson wanting to run.
Moore defended by Jenkins. Gets it back. That one's going to go down.
Once again, the little flare screen right there where Demira Hines set the screen on the defender. She goes underneath, and Mia Moore steps back for the 3.
Her first 3 of the game. She was 42% a year ago. Out of bounds, it'll stay in the Upstate end. Good ball movement to get an open Mia Moore on the wing.
Yep, there's the screen behind. Girl goes behind the screen. It's just a simple read, but that was great execution.
And the Tiger team a year ago, well, Sean Poppy emphasizes that 3 is more than 2, and new program record, nearly 230 of them. They were a tough team beyond the arc. Gallagher, strong drive. Augustinaite stayed with her, but Cassie Gallagher shows you why she was Big South Freshman of the Year. She averaged 10 points a game a year ago.
Good left hand there.
Off a screen from Hines Moore. And we've got contact. It'll go against USC Upstate. Zora Frey-Chin picking up the personal. A low foul opening half, really on both sides.
Right. Well, that was a Moore taking advantage of her quickness there.
Rose. Augustinaite, part of that big run in the second quarter to blow this game open. Perriman back out to Moore. Shot clock at 5. Perriman, the Tulsa transfer, leaving it short. She was a 38% shooter last season for the Golden Hurricane. A pull-up, Castator. Valparaiso transfer, able to get it to go from long range. Her first bucket as a Spartan.
But Poppy's shaking his head on that. He didn't like that wide open 3, I can promise you.
Still a big deficit. Augustinaite hits another 3. She knocked down a couple in the opening half. On the drive, Patterson trying to lob inside, and Hines able to take it away.
Good post defense.
Hines 39 steals last year for Wake. Moore looks things over. Looks like they've gone zone as Upstate.
Yep.
Rose crossing over. Such a weapon on both ends of the court. Hines. And knocked away Zora Frey-Chin. They double teamed. Strong move. Kick on the wing. Drive and a reverse try by Patterson, knocking it down, but they keep it alive. Castador again. No. Battle for the rebound. And they're going to get it over the back on Emma Blair. 3's flying here in the second half at Chattanooga. SoCon Championship clubs actually won against Wofford and Rachel Rose, his first year there, to claim the Southern Conference Championship. Now Rose, a guard for his Clemson team. Augustinaite up top gets a nice screen from Lee. Looked to feed it back to her. A little confusion there. Spartans come away from it.
Morgan Lee rolled to the basket, turned her back on the basketball. You always got to keep your eye on the basketball. Of course, I don't like jump passes. Rusne had the jump pass there, which I'm not a fan of.
Kinley Patterson, just a freshman. And the turnover. They expect her to make an impact in the Spartans program. And Sean Poppy took a lot from Kenny Brooks, other coaches he's worked with.
You know, ironically, you could take this for what it's worth. The current rankings of the recruiting class for 2026, Clemson has the #1 recruiting class. Kentucky has the #3 recruiting class.
Maybe they're exchanging notes as they chat on the phone. Kenny Brooks now at Kentucky, the guy that Poppy worked under. They're going to count it for Augustinaite. Had a hand in her face, and she'll go to the line. 54-23. And she was appreciative of the role on the back end.
Right.
Doing everything she could to defend her was Macy White.
Yeah. Hand in her face.
Augustinaite was not familiar with the free throw line last year for Georgia Tech. Just 4 attempts. She made 3 of them. Well, able to knock down that free throw, her first as a Tiger. She's had a good game scoring. Give her 14, and that leads the way. Madison Miller, redshirt freshman, second year in the Spartans program, and Cone coming away with it.
Clemson just dominating the boards.
They were plus 10 in the opening half. Lee, pretty move. Averaged nearly 13 a game for the Red Foxes of Marist last season. And a whistle. And we got a foul. I think it's going to be against Morgan Lee. That'll be her 3rd.
It is.
Well, nearly 10 new players for this Clemson team, but the opportunity for Sean Poppy really to mix up combinations. You'll see lots of different groups of 5 on the floor. Comes into the freshman Patterson. Tried to get it outside to Gallagher. Augustinaite creates the turnover. Ahead it goes. Moore. Off balance finish.
Great steal by Augustinaite. To me, what Rusne.
A dozen for Mia Moore. Inside, halfway down, it comes out for Miller. And Hines comes away with a rebound. She's been effective on both ends. Cone, before she can fire a 3. Foul will be called. Tigers using the defense again to set up the O in this game.
Yeah, great hands there by Rusne, stealing the basketball and recovering it. And a very good job of transitioning on the part of Mia Moore for the layup and the finish. Good bounce pass. I like it.
Really had to work around a defender just to get the ball. Once she had it, there was no trouble at all getting to the hoop, but she was off balance. Meanwhile, Augustinaite, told you, a career high 30 against Florida a couple of seasons ago, but she has led the Tigers with more in her first game. Those two have 14 each. And Mia Moore now looking to add on.
Mia Moore is such a good athlete. I mean, she just exploded to the basket on that cut right there.
5 fouls now on the Upstate team. That means 2 free throws. Meanwhile, they're working on a clock issue and trying to readjust it. Apparently, it kept running. So they added 8 seconds back. Mia Moore, big impact a year ago. Can't knock down the free throw, but she was 70% from the line. Had a 23-point game against NC State, scored 24 against Virginia Tech, and wouldn't be surprised if she's in the 20s a number of times this season. Probably will get there today, as she now has 15. Clemson's lead is 60-23. Tigers were up big at the break, and another takeaway. More. A pick 6, if you were. Give her 17.
And we have a young lady by the name of Holland Harris, number 0 on the floor. A young freshman. She was a 4-star out of Florida.
The highly regarded Montverde Academy in Central Florida. Look at Mia Moore.
Quick as a hiccup.
Led the Tigers with 45 steals a year ago. Gets the takeaway there. Jenkins, Palmore back on the court. She gave him some good minutes in the opening half.
Right.
Comes from a basketball family. Gallagher. Tigers have kept her somewhat in check so far. She was 5 points. Strong drive. Kirst. Shot clock at 5. Gallagher back to Kirst in the corner, and a much-needed 3 for USC Upstate. It's the third in 10 attempts as a team. 62-26. Under 2 to play here in quarter number 3. Hines, and she walked. Tigers turning it over, but for just the 7th time in the game. Good job finding Aubrey Kirsch by Cassie Gallagher.
Little slow in the closeout there by Hannah Cohn.
Spartans really have not put a run together in this game, as indicated by our score, but looking to get buckets on back-to-back possessions here. Soderblom. Hines defending. Vera Soderblom went with the left hand. And last touch by Palmore of USC Upstate.
This game's becoming a little more physical all along. So,
17-point game. Demira Hines, big-time addition. One of the 2 ACC transfers. A lob to her, and a nice find. Give the assist to Moore.
Pick and roll at its best right there.
Under a minute to play, Tigers have scored nearly 70 points over the first 3 quarters of this game. Up top, Kirst. Cohn defends. Trying to give it to Soderblom. Really didn't have the spacing. Shot clock under 10. Gallagher, dangerous pass. Pull up. Can't get the roll. Soderblom with Tigers around her. Gets it out on the wing. And it'll go for Kirsch. Players hitting the deck. Looks like Colin Harris and Asia Palmore of USC Upstate might have bumped heads.
Right.
Scrapping Asia Palmore for Upstate, and Holland Harris picking up the personal foul. That'll be her first as a Tiger. And the 4-star will inbound.
1-2-2, full-court press, back into the zone. Tried to slow them down a little bit.
Tigers will play for a final shot in this 3rd quarter. Moore, quick crossover. Cohn leaves it short. Hines battles. Can't get it to go, but she'll head to the line with 1.9 remaining in period number 3.
Demira Hines has done a yeoman's job on the backboard today. She has battled hard in there.
She was a preseason Georgia Player of the Year going into the 2019 and 20 season from Douglasville, Georgia. Spent her college career at Wake Forest before transferring to Clemson before this year. And she can't get the bounce. 63% from the line for the Demon Deacons a year ago. Clemson debut, 8 points, 5 rebounds. And the point total will stay there. Harris the rebound, and that's how our 3rd quarter comes to an end. Tigers building on the big halftime lead. For the Clemson, Rusne Augustinaite, 14 points. She's hit 3 3-pointers. Had international experience, part of a gold medal 18 and under team in her native Lithuania a few years ago. Another one of those additions they will count on. Forcing one from the corner was Kirst. Tigers come away with it. Rose back on the court, anxious to get back to being able to play without pain. Just 6 games a year ago for the fine guard at Wofford. That's her in the top of your screen. Perriman kicks on the wing. Thompson defended by Palmore. Shot clock under 5. Augustinaite, how about it? Feeling it.
Great pass by Raven Thompson coming off the spin move there.
17 in the game. She's hit 4 threes. Gallagher. And nearly taken away by Johnson Matthews. It is. And Augustinaite ahead to her. gets rewarded for good defense. Jason Williams has seen
creating loose balls, and steals have been even more impressive.
Well, USC Upstate looking at a 40-point deficit here with about 8.5 to go in the game. Pat Kearse looking down low, tried to feed inside to Blair, and another giveaway by the Spartans. That's 18 in the game. Hadley Perriman giving it away. Rusne Augustinaite will head back to the line. Again, we told you just 4 free throws all of last season. Pretty much in a reserve role. Got a couple of starts at Georgia Tech, but back to the line for a second time here in the half.
You know, Rusne, so many times the people enter the players enter the transfer portal when a coach retires or a coach leaves the program. Well, Neil Fortner, longtime coach at the collegiate level and even in the WNBA, was at Georgia Tech, and she retired last year. So Rusne probably had something to do with Rusne coming into the transfer portal.
Yep. And building on her first game as a Tiger. Closing in on a 20-point effort. Astater. Kearse tried to put a move to her left, but it didn't work. And knocked away momentarily from Richardson. Shot clock's at 5. Jenkins out high, has it taken away. Johnson Matthews.
Another steal.
Tigers in double figures in that category. Rose, good outside shooter as well. Pretty move. Johnson Matthews went right by the defender, Blair. That was a mismatch defensively. Clemson exploiting it.
No doubt about it. Good job as a good explosive first step there by Matthews.
Jenkins trying to feed Emma Blair. They expect her to improve in her redshirt sophomore season. Quick pass left of the lane. Jumper will not fall for Richardson. Transferred from Siena.
One and done.
Richardson won against Clemson's newcomer Morgan Lee in the MAC a year ago. Lee was at Marist. Inside the arc, rattles off no good for Taylor Johnson Matthews. She's now 5 out of 9. Ball knocked out of bounds. Upstate will keep it. Again, another example of Clemson turning defense into quick offense.
Yep, no doubt about it. There's the quick hands. Got on the floor after that loose ball. Came up with it. And on the other end, she gets the basket.
Really nice move. She can score nearly 15 a game last season for DePaul. Inside Blair. Strong move and goes over Hadley Perriman. Perriman defended well.
Yep.
Emma Blair, who was a 25 points per game scorer as a high schooler. Suffered an injury, though, that she had to battle back from. Cone pulls up. Almost went the second time and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the freshman Holland Harris. USC Upstate getting nice work from Emma Blair.
Yep, very good move.
Blair with Perriman defending. Thought about it. Said giving it away to Patterson. And on the wing, good reaction. Augustinaite, she had just 1 steal a year ago. She's got a couple today. And knocked out of bounds. Clemson will keep it. Rusne Augustinaite. She'll get a breather. And going deeper into his bench, Sean Poppy now.
Maya Jackson on the floor. Played at Montverde Academy along with Harris, Holland Harris. They were teammates there. Both of them 4-star recruits.
That was Jackson, now Harris, a couple of former prep school teammates. Also checking in Morgan Miller. And Sean Poppy going deep on his bench with a lead of 42 points. Tigers were up 44-16 at the break. They blew things open with a 21-2 run in the second quarter. Nice move by Blair. It's a more experienced Upstate team. Their head coach thinks that'll make them much better once they get to Big South play. Last year they had a roster loaded with freshmen, many of whom were pressed into action because they were simply in full rebuild mode. Rose trying to split defenders, and a foul is called. Got a timeout on the court. Rachel Rose for the Spartans. Cone, don't see her drive all that much. Look at the follow inside. Morgan Miller able to clean up. Holland Harris also helping create that action down low. A 75-33 triumph. Tigers will go 2-0 all time in the series. Pull-up jumper, and Zoe Richardson able to get the roll. Miller to Rose. Rose had to watch most of last season in her final year at Wofford. Miller, nice feed. Harris couldn't finish. And here come the Spartans. Kinley Patterson, a freshman. They're giving it to White. And now once again a drive to the bucket. Richardson. And the late whistle. Nice work by Morgan Miller inside for Clemson.
Good follow. I think that was her. She had one basket last year, and I think she's already got one in her first game this year. So as a sophomore.
Getting some extended minutes here late in this one. Under 4 to play. Heard a coach say that November is when you expose your flaws and try to play some tough folks. Long-range jumper will not go down. Just Troy, freshman, just into the game for Upstate. Tigers freshman. Her first attempt, Amaya Jackson can't get it to fall. And we've got a foul gonna do an ESPN2 game coming up on November 16th. Interesting opportunity there to see how you stack up against a quality conference opponent. Here's Harris. Not going to go. And the rebound taken down by Zoe Richardson of Upstate. Spartans trying to make this a little bit more respectable down the stretch. Out front. And it will not go for Madison Miller. You've got a Morgan Miller on the court for Clemson and a Madison Miller right now for USC Upstate. Good promise for Amaya Jackson. Got a lot of experience ahead of her in the backcourt, but you can see she will be a key player in the future for this Tiger team. Tigers going deep on the bench. And Lee inside. Hannah Cone will be called for the foul. Take another look on the drive.
Good job of the help side defender there.
Saw a Spartan hit the deck. Patterson kicks in the corner, and Macy White knocks down the tray.
Good job with the screen in there with the big for the quarter shooter.
Her first three. Down low. And Harris unable to get it to fall to go the other way. Look at the screening.
Yep.
For Upstate.
Hannah Cone's offensive players slid down behind the screen there and then had a good skip pass on the pin in.
Richardson, she likes that free throw jumper, can't get it to fall. Rebound Holland Harris, the Orlando native. Quick lob, Lee. Feed, Miller, and the foul is called. So Morgan Miller gets a free throw opportunity.
Post pairs, we call them. That was a good post-to-post screen right there. A post-to-post pass right there.
Pretty feed by Lee.
Yeah.
Miller almost able to convert, but she'll shoot a couple of free throws. Holland Harris, we've talked about her as a four-star recruit in basketball. She was a high-level tennis player, like maybe pro potential in the state of Florida. You see so many come out of there, but a few years ago she decided to dedicate it to basketball. But if they ever decide to have a team tennis day, she would be the #1 player, you would suppose.
I don't think she ever took up basketball until her freshman year.
Ninth grade, freshman year of high school, and Montverde, an excellent athletic program in so many sports, the Orlando area school. A lot of soccer players have come from there to play for Mike Noonan and Clemson men's soccer. Dangerous pass by Cone. Now she gets it back. But John Lucas was a great player at Maryland back in the 70s. He was known as a high-level tennis player. And now Holland Harris for Clemson basketball on the women's side. Hung up inside Lee, held ball, and the arrow will keep it in the Tigers' end with 1:08 to go.
4.8 on the shot clock.
Quickly in, Lee off the dribble. Couldn't get the fadeaway. Richardson the rebound. Final minute of play in this opener. Bad miss, Zoe Richardson, and back over to the Tigers. Well, this is the first of a doubleheader day here in Littlejohn. A lot of the school kids, by the way, probably midterm exams or maybe trigonometry or high-level chemistry classes away to them. They've headed on out. Should have a good crowd for Brad Brownell's Tigers to play their opening game against New Hampshire, 7 p.m., right where you're watching. Harris, strong move. And Miller couldn't come away with the rebound. And a lot of new faces on the women's side for Sean Poppy. And, of course, a massive change of the roster to the men's team, 10 newcomers. Sean Poppy has to like what he has seen out of his group today. Foul on Jackson will put Kinley Patterson on the free throw line. Originally from Australia, and she can't get the roll. Patterson, a freshman for Jason Williams Spartans. And again, one of the reasons he feels like his team will be improved this year, some infusion of talent with some newcomers, but also just more experience for the many returnees he has from his squad from last season. Cone gets the rebound. You see the different shot clock to game clock. Pushing the pace, Jackson gets it back from her high school teammate Harris. Miller and Jackson got a screen from Lee. Harris, hesitation, and travel, and back over to Upstate. Spartans will try to run one more play. Into the front court, Patterson. Jumper left shy by Miller of Upstate, and that'll do it. Clemson Tigers will open this 2025 and 26 season with a resounding 76-38 win over the Spartans.